Let's head to equities market now. The market capitalization of the Nigerian Exchange Limited dropped below 30 trillion naira last week after it crossed the mark, leading to a loss of 476 billion naira for investors. Well, the bearish trend started Monday with investors losing 3 billion to close at 30.39 trillion. On Tuesday, the market capitalization lost 36 billion to close the day at 30.35. On Wednesday as well, the pattern was sustained as investors lost 127 billion and the market cap, dropped to 30.22 trillion. And at the close of market on Thursday, the market capitalization has suffered the biggest dent in the week as it dropped to 29.91 trillion naira, while investors lost about 313 billion. And on Friday, the market cap stayed at 29.91 trillion naira. The all-share index, which started the week at 55,788.37 point, had lost about 872.78 basis point to end trading on Friday at 54,915.39 basis points. So let's get talking now and look at the sentiment currently driving the market. Ambrose Amodian, Chief Research Invest Data Consulting Limited, joins us now. Thank you for joining us, Ambrose.
Thanks for
Good to have you again.
Yeah, Frank.
Yeah, so big loss for the week, for the market last week. So first, let's talk about the election, right? I know people say, okay, it has nothing, and you have said on this show over and over again, but this loss, according to many, was attributed to the election fear, basically. So how would you describe the sentiment that played out in the market last week?
No, the person that was attributed, or analyst or group of analysts, I would say this loss has a lot of, election fear.
Yes.
Is it post-election fear or, because...
Pre-governorship election, actually.
No.
Both presidential and governorship election. Both presidential and governorship election.
Actually, there are three factors that were responsible for this loss.
Yes.
For me, is fear of election, part of it, because if the election week market was gaining almost 2% that week, creating wealth for investor election week, where is the certainty then? If there is fear, people already have sold down to hold their cash and what, but people were still buying till the last day of the election, a day to the election on Saturday, and market was in green. That is not, we expect to see what is happening. One, profit taking our attribute to it. One, two, the contagious fear. I told you what happened within that week that we saw, kind of crisis in the financial sector, in the mature economy. That fear spread out of that region to other markets across the world. But before the week runs out, the fear was curtailed because the government of this economy and their central banks took straight intervention, and that shocked the market. All of them rebounded before the week closed for the week. But the good thing is that on Friday on our market here, we saw the similar rebound. In the morning, we are seeing bank on the red. In the afternoon, market we see bank rebounding again. Not only that, most of the stocks were also marked down. About 2 or 3 were marked down within the week again. Now, when you are taking away the dividend declared from price, it's going to affect what the market capitalization and also indeed because you are taking away price. Now, Nigeria was marked down the same week, and the UK was marked down the same week. These are the factors that brought this level. It's not the fear of election. I'll tell you that government election, yes, they are important, but that will not affect the market because the market is looking at who is coming from the president, and we have seen that we have president-elect on waiting already, and despite there is cost issue here and there, we know that at the end of the day, we'll have who will step in on the 29th. There will not be a vacuum that will bring fear because continuity is what every investment environment wants to see. When there is space, when there is vacuum, they might come to what for fear that what is happening. But now that that means even though they are in court, for me, the one thing I told you that these three factors were responsible for what happened.
And as long as the court processes and all the litigations are peaceful, no protests, no chaos, so it means that it will sustain investors' confidence to stay
exactly. And only that also the government that is coming also. I've seen where there is loopholes, where there is a crisis that you need to reform. Also, the team also come along in the process. Not that what we saw in 2015, I already repeated anywhere that this government will not do such mistake again, because Nigeria is battling with a lot of problems. To say another 6 months, another 3 months, another 2 months, we start, cabinet, we start moving on to business proper.
Right.
That will be very bad for Nigeria. That means, don't forget what happened in the US. The day where they're starting Biden in, the next day they see the ground running. They didn't wait for, because even when they were campaigning, I need something to come so that as they're stepping in, they're waiting at least there, because I know yes they have to give like some weeks or months, or let's say a month for the National Assembly to put their house in place in order and let their leaders, so that they can start screening the minister. But once you have your cabinet on ground, you don't waiting for screening. What they are screening and they are confirmed, they come back and start hitting the ground.
Because what an economy needs, and well, of course, capital market, which is a major part of the economy, what they need is policy statement, the government taking the right steps,
putting the right people, seeing the caliber of people that are coming as minister, and where are they going, and also if you look at the manifesto of even the three party, and I believe now that you have won, it's right to look at the A of this one, the A of this one, put it together again, part your own, and move, and that is for Nigeria. That's how people are clamoring forward for unity government. If that happen again, that will be a good thing for Nigeria. All this insecurity will slow down, because once everybody's party is involved, any part of Nigeria is involved in the government, you see that we'll see people are buying to the government to contribute. But when there's sidelining, that is where you see a sort of agitation. But if we can carry everybody along, see that I believe that the government that won, they should know that this time is to carry all Nigerians along. Okay.
Let's get into the outlook of the week. What to expect? The equities market this week, post-election, just a day after election. So
now, the post-election, I agree with you.
Yeah, yes. So let's look at post-election rally and what is likely to play out this week. I mean, market lost about 1.59%, and you talked about the fact that it wasn't because of election, but because of profit taking and sell up and all of sell off in some shares. So, but this week, elections have gone as far as some people are concerned, done and dusted.
Yeah, so I agree with you. And on the strength of results we are hearing now, I tell you that peace will return to where it's come, because one, people have voted in line of who they expected, and they are seeing the result. Their choice, their voting is counting now. That one is one. Two, again, the major thing that will shape the market this week is the outcome of MPC meeting today, tomorrow. This outcome of MPC will, but from look of things, like I told you last week, that if you follow the trend we have seen in the mature economy, yes, it's tomorrow and next tomorrow is for Fed to have their own meeting. Why ECB has had their own last week? They increased their interest rate to about 50 basis points. Even when their own inflation has already started tapering, started slowing down, they still increase.
Right.
But here we see that there is a slowdown in not that our inflation has started moving southward, but there was a slowdown of 0.09 for the month of February as a result of cash crunch and all those stuff. But we believe that at this point, that is we are in the meeting, this is not the right time for them to hike rates. But because CBN and the team has turned to what we call hawkish policymakers or money, they might have to increase rates marginally, not as high as we have seen 100 basis points before now. But leaving not change will be a welcome development, so that they can find the direction where the economy is going. Because after we have pulled back almost 2.3 trillion from the economy, you need to start to see the impact, and also you make sure that this money go back gradually to the economy to start driving the economy. What we saw that in the month of February, that for a whole month, our business activities dropped to below 50 basis points, around 44.7. It sent a signal that there's no liquidity in the system to drive our business. That means now that the CBN have agreed after the judgment of the Supreme Court, let's gradually start releasing this fund to the system. We know that yes, as funds come back, activity will start coming back again. But before the end of April, we have seen full business coming back. That's what I've done. This is not time for them, because if you hike rate at this point, you're going to even tighten the whole. And
if you look at, according to CBN, if you look at the currency in circulation at the moment, it's not even up to $1 trillion, and that's about 982 billion at the moment. So the concern is that how do you now have release more of this note into circulation, into the economy between now and maybe at the end of or the beginning of next quarter. So that's also a concern as well.
Yeah, I agree with you, but it can't just release money overnight. I can tell you that the strategy that you will withdraw more than 20,000 naira from the counter, this one, they're still there, but they know what they've done by bringing money back gradually. If we're still doing because they want to drive people to cashless economy. But now they have released money. That means you can see. But the thing is that goal to extent have been achieved. Let's see that also let banks go ahead and then create and work on their infrastructure to make that there's no hitch, no traffic, no. If that is one, gradually we'll come back to normal economy. But I tell you, between now and the end of the month, it's not enough for people to push up. But gradually, like I said, if people are getting money, the tensions are coming down, business coming back before the end of the first month in second quarter.
The expectation is that the Fed is likely to jack up its interest rate a little bit. So while there's an expectation of that, do you think that the CBN MPC meeting today and tomorrow would like to take a cue from that? What is likely to happen, at the Federal Reserve meeting to maybe form a decision?
I said earlier. I said since if you look at the CBN governor now and the previous last 2 years is different.
Right.
For last 2 years, it was like almost like a whole year there was no rate on change. But immediately we saw the war in Ukraine and Russia, and we started seeing the mature economy hiking rate. We delay like 2 months before we joined the queue. It was on May we started that. Since then it has been hike to date. For me, if they want to slow down, to see, because if they've hiked rate, we are not seeing part of it on inflation, and now they've gone ahead to do what they've done by calling back some funds outside the bank covers back to the system, and also gradually releasing to them. Let's see how this is going to work, and also impact the policy. For me, if I were in their shoe, I would like leave the rate unchanged for the first time for this meeting we're having. Subsequently, after like the next meeting, which is another 2 months to, would have seen what have changed in the system. We can now be thinking of either start coming down now or start hacking up. But I know that there's also kind of a focus or projection that if by June there's no subsidy removal, we're going to see spike in rate. Then what are you going to do then? I think they're trying to watch it. That's why I said, for me, you have to sit down and watch now. Don't leave until watch to see, yes, and see what happened in April. Then before you can think of before the removal of subsidy. And also, it's the time also that government on ground should also start making plan before the handover to mean that even with the removal of subsidy, the impact won't be much on the people. And I know that transportation is the key when it comes to this inflation. Once the remove subsidy and fuel prices goes up, it's going to affect transportation, and that goes away, moving goods from the farm to the market. Even though the goods in the farm is still cheap, your transport cost alone was also support. That's why I say this is the time for government to start thinking, what can we do to make sure we bring the transport system a bit down so that the inflation will not be much or the impact will be much on the citizen.
Okay, so let's wrap it up with this. I mean, yes, if we understand that the market, of course, we probably want to sit on the fence so that they can watch what will come out of the MPC meeting today and tomorrow before they can. So, yes, do you think it will defy the negative sentiment that was recorded, or do you think it will start building momentum from today?
I believe the market will start building momentum from today. Actually, we started seeing it in some of the banking stocks this morning. So when the banks that have pulled back last week, I started going back, because on Friday we saw the first audited accounts from the banks from Stanbic IBTC, and that was a good number in terms of performance. And that tells the investor that in every financial year is not at the previous. That's why, as an investor, don't look at the previous performance of any company to project. Because if you look at 2021, we saw that Stanbic IBTC was struggling. But in 2022, you can see that they've bounced back fully, that at the end of the year, they have almost 6 naira 3 kobo as earning per share for a year. And they are paying 3 naira 50 kobo altogether. They paid 150 interim, they are paying 2 naira fine. Now that is altogether 350. For me, these are the things we want to go. And knowing that banking sector will benefit from whatever that happened in this season, whether the first quarter result is coming, so that the bank has a way to benefit from it. Because as far as there's still transaction online, people are still paying charges. And banks also, because there was a slowdown in the month of February, let's cancel all those that are going to pay us our interest for that bank will still make money. Whether there's no business, you need to pay them their money. For me, I believe that investors now in Nigeria should look at those banks. That's why I expect also to see that at the end of the MPC meeting, the CBN should tell the Nigerian investor and Nigerian public the state of the banks. So that if we have seen what is happening in mature banks, you need to boost the confidence of the people, tell them the state of the banks we are overseeing, how healthy they are and where they are going, and what how the measure we have taken to make sure that our banks will not experience what we saw in this matter. That is at the same
I think that's one of the key conversations which we expect the CBN to bring into their deliberation this week. But just a moment, I was going to let you go, but for the benefit of doubt, let's talk about sector sectorial fundamental strength in the markets this week. For instance, we saw that NGX consumer goods, NGX growth, appreciated by about 1.1% and 2.9%. Why NGS oil and gas indices and all of that, all of them close their change. Yeah. So do we expect same to continue, or there will be a change? Which one is likely to drive the market?
I expect to see the banking sector supporting the market, and also we expect to see some result from the oil sector. Last week, oil sector was flat because there was no more. The previous week, they took profit from the major stock that rally, corn oil and Miss Oil for last week. We expect that now, if we expect to see their until account between now and 31st of March, we expect on new activities which are taking to start coming. Now that, as I said, election season is gone. Now it's for not to make money. That's why I said, people that are sitting on the first box of election, they'll be kind of regretting now because nothing has happened, but rather people have created wealth for themselves during the period. For me, I believe that investors should hold fast to their position in terms of a dividend, while traders like me are waiting for more pullback for us to push them, because that is what we need. Because the second quarter, we need to buy low so that when the second results are coming for the month of April, we'll be smiling. That's why at this moment, as we are seeing this oscillation till the end of the month, as a result of results, investor reacting to results that are coming, profit taking, as price of stock come down, we'll be preparing to position for what? For the second quarter of the year.
Well, I think we should leave it there. Thank you so much. Always a delight to have you on our program.
Thanks for having me.
Ambrose Omodion, Chief Research Officer, Invest Data Consulting. Thank you for coming on the program. So we'll take a break now. When we return, of course, we'll head straight to looking at post-election and as we focus on the economy and task ahead. That's our focus in our next conversation. Please stay with us. This is Business Breakfast.